Hey, webinar listeners, how are you doing today? Hopefully, this tardiness wasn't too big of a deal. I do apologize for our late start. We had little technical difficulties with Zoom this morning, but glad to have you with us. So thank you very much for joining us on this 13th episode of Shop Talk. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. I appreciate your attendance today. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving if you are joining us from the US. Yeah, okay, so today with us is Volkie, and has been with us a few times. And, we're talking all about the plans, current plans, what they offer and what you'll be able to do with them. So hopefully we'll have some good insight for you in today's session. Volkie, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Amir. It's great to be here, and hey, everyone. It's always a pleasure to join in. Looking forward to our session today.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so today, as I just mentioned, we're talking all about the plans that we have, starting from the free plan to the starter, professional, business, and so on. We might have some people joining us who have been with Matterport for a very long time, which means you might be on, what we call the classic plans, and they were a little bit different than the current plans. So we want to touch on the differences between those, and we have definitely had some people contacting us saying, "Hey, why am I, being charged so much?" And it's really important to look at your invoice, what you're being charged for, and compare that to what you would be charged if you were on a new plan. So we'll look at that and give like an example, pretty basic example, but just an example of what to look for. And then we'll obviously have the Q&A at the end. So looking forward to that. You're definitely more than welcome to throw in your questions into the Q&A panel as we go through this. If we can answer them, we will do so. Otherwise, we'll do our best to address them at the end in the Q&A session. All right, so moving along. Archive versus active models. Volkie, did you want to kind of give us a brief rundown on the difference?
Yeah, let's talk about that before. I think it's important to cover this topic before we jump into different plans. Also you will hear us. Sometimes we talk about spaces, sometimes we talk about models, and sometimes we refer to them as digital twins. So please accept our apologies for sometimes using different terms for essentially the same thing, right? So let me put that out to begin with. So all models or spaces have two states. What we mean by that is when we talk about the plans that are current plans, standard plans, there's an ability to archive or inactivate a space or a model. And that gives you the ability to do unlimited scans and then archive the ones that you don't use. So active or archived is a state of that space, where an active one is a fully functional 3D model, and it's a default state. So as soon as you create a model uploaded, it becomes an active model. It can be viewed, customized, published, and shared, depending on the plan. When it's archived, only the account owner and the collaborators or users can see it, but it cannot be shared, it cannot be viewed, edited, or published unless it's made active again. So it doesn't count towards your active spaces in your subscription, and it's in an archived mode. So you can always activate it, then it will start counting towards your space count or the model count. Another concept here that is not on the slide is the concept of a user. So once we go explain the different type of subscription plans, it's important to understand what a user is versus what an owner of an account is. So users can be added to manage, oversee, and edit spaces. And so those are collaborators or users, meaning it's the same thing. they can scan and upload to an account, they can edit spaces, and they can view Matterport spaces that are not public. So you can add them depending on the plan, and they can be part of a team or part of your account. So they can do things almost as an owner, except things around billing, etc. Right. So those are the things I think it will be important for us to talk about before we dive into the plans.
So, as previously mentioned, hopefully that differentiation between the active, inactive is clear. But that's one of the kind of the differences between all the plans is how many models you have in your account that are active, as Volkie just mentioned. So, inactive, we don't really care about those. You can have as many inactive models as you want. So, with the free tier, what you have is a single active model. Again, you can have as many inactive as you want. So you upload, that initial upload is an active model, edit it, do what you want with it. And you can then archive it, making it inactive, and then you can upload another one. So as long as you just have the one active at a time, you can just keep using it and keep uploading, new active models, as many as you want, basically, and just continue to archive it. A single user, it's another thing that Volkie touched on. How many collaborators? So we talk about this all the time. The one really amazing thing about the Matterport models and the platform is its ability to help teams collaborate. So obviously with the free plan, it's not really designed for a team to collaborate. So it's just the one user is allowed, and that's basically you, the account owner, and that's it. So also, the free plan, you can only upload to the free plan from a smartphone, your iPhone currently. I guess Android is now available as well, or 360 camera. So you cannot, if you have a model, if you're using a capture device, an iPhone or iPad to capture using the Pro 2 or like a BLK, you will not be able to upload that model to the free plan. That being said, if you're an MSP and you've created this model for a customer and you want to transfer that to them, you can have them create a free plan, costing them obviously nothing. And even though you shot it with the Pro 2, you can then transfer it to the free plan. So they can host. It's not about hosting. It's more about uploading. So you can't upload to the free plan if it was captured, but you can transfer it if it was captured with a Pro 2. Hopefully that was clear. Volkie, you want to touch on what this plan could be good for?
Sure. So free plans is great for try before you buy, right? So if you're not familiar with Matterport, or you have folks that you recommended and then they want to try it out, it's no risk type of investment. It's just time investment to learn. But then other than that, it's a great way to get your get your feet wet into this concept of a 3D capture. And the great thing about this is, since we introduced iPhone support, you can use your iPhone just to create a 3D, fully functional 3D model in a free account. And so you don't need to wait for a shipment of a specialty camera. If you have your iPhone, you can just start it with a free plan with no investment, and you're off, right? Good to go. Android is coming in the future. We have capture available, but we don't have the smartphone Android creation of the 3D model yet. That's in the future. So I want to clarify the slide in that sense. And then the other great thing about free account is you can practice and you can create as many spaces or models. Because of the archiving functionality, you can create as many models as you like, as long as you archive and leave one active. And that gives you an ability to practice and learn before committing into a paid plan. So I think those are great things about free plans, that you can just, yourself and maybe first-time user, or the people that you may recommend share, that they may come in and try and find out if it's for them.
All right, so once you upgrade from the free plan, we've got the starter plan, and you'll notice that now you can have up to 5 active models. So this is a slightly larger option at $9.99 a month. Um, you still do have one user. This again is not a plan that's designed for teams to use for collaboration purposes. It's really just for once you've kind of upgraded again from the free plan, as Volkie mentioned, and you've tested and you've practiced and whatnot, and you're ready to kind of, launch your business, I suppose, if you will, um, and you want to be able to have more than just a single model being active. You want to be able to share that model, with clients and whatnot, so they can see it as well. The starter plan is a really good option, and again allows 5 active models. Um, Same as with the free plan, up to the uploading to the starter plan, you can only do so if the model was captured with your smartphone or 360 camera. So um, I misspoke before, actually. I did mention Android, but when we say smartphone, I don't mean smartphone, connected to a Pro 2 or anything like that, which Android does support. It has to either have been captured with the smartphone, which right now is still just iPhone, or you used it to connect to a 360 camera. Basically, those are the 2 devices that actually captured the images. Okay, and these are great for what, Volkie?
um, sure. So basically, logical step. Say you came in and you use it in a free account, or you don't want to invest so much upfront. You just want to try, but you don't want to be limited with one active space. This is the most affordable plan, right? So, for example, if you're a new realtor with, say, 2 listings, active listings, this may be a great fit for you. There are 5 active spaces in this, still 1 user, so it's not a team activity type of plan. But it's a good one, and it's $9.99, or in your local currency. I think it's much worth it. Also, here we are introducing more capabilities, such as publishing to different platforms, and one of them, obviously the real estate portals are great, but also Google Street View, which is maybe not as known as much or used, but it's a great capability, especially in your retail space. It gives you the ability to, give a holistic approach where, your, outside view and outside, the kind of ability to search engine optimization, and then marry it with a 3D model creates the end-to-end experience for customers, especially in the retail or the e-commerce space. So I think those are abilities that can be started in this plan and then used in more advanced plans as needed.
Yeah, the Google Street View is actually a really big deal. Any retailer or shop or restaurant or anything that's out there physically in the world with a storefront needs to know about Google My Business Listing. And for better SEO, having those images of their store up in Google Street View is a really big deal, and being more.
And these are free, so these are not additional extra costs. So you can just enjoy these features in a in this starter plan.
Yeah, currently uploading to Google Street View is totally free, so take advantage of it. Okay, moving on. So once you've graduated from starter, you go into the professional plan. And now we're talking about a plan that, um, as you can see on the right side, this is the most popular plan. And the reason for that is because this now allows you to really collaborate with a team that you may be working with on certain projects, and using Matterport to make that collaboration a little bit more efficient. So now you can have up to 25 or 50 active models. The reason I say 25 or 50 is because there are kind of 2 tiers to the professional. There's the professional and the professional plus. The plus being the 50 active models and 10 users that can join. So the regular tier, I say just the professional tier that you see listed here on the right side at $69 a month, is for the 25 active spaces and 5 users. Now we're getting also into a plan that does allow you to upload from any device used to capture. This is where insurance companies come in, real estate agents, brokerage firms, larger companies that again need more active spaces and potentially teams to collaborate on any number of given spaces at any given time. Let Volkie talk more about what this plan is good for.
Yeah, thanks, Amir. I think this is where we're getting into more professional use cases. I mean, starter plan can be also used in professional use cases, but here we are enabling more cameras like the Pro 2, Pro cameras, and that has been around, and then also like a BLK 360. So this is where if you are looking for spaces or models with highest accuracy, then you may want to be in this plan. It's still a reasonable price. And then this also opens up the concept of a small team, as I spoke earlier. If you want to invite collaborators, multiple people creating models, uploading those models to save time, or to really start enabling collaboration. For example, a team of real estate agents or a construction crew. This may be an ideal case where you can enable these kind of scenarios. Also, we are introducing a concept of these additional products or services such as matter packs or the floor plans that can be ordered in these for additional payments. And these are especially, like, for example, architecture and design type use cases are commonly desired for different type of integrations with tools like AutoCAD, etc. So I think here we are, in addition to the earlier feature set, we are adding some professional grade features. So it can be useful. Also, as you notice here, there's automatic face blurring, which is a function that really helps with the privacy of people in the model. And soon enough, we are working on additional face blurring features we will announce and share with you that will enable you for more blurring capabilities. So that's great news in that sense. So again, here, as Amir said, you can use a diverse set of capture devices. In smartphones, you can use Android devices in beta as well. So you can, if you have an Android device, you can start trying it in beta. And then 360 cameras, always a good one. You can just carry them around in your pocket if you don't have a Pro 2 available. But then Pro 2 is the gold standard. So this is the first plan that really enables all the power of Matterport, and so highly recommended for professional use cases.
Okay, and then after that, then we're into the business plan, and this had some confusion. I suppose both the professional and business had a little bit of confusion that I'll just touch on real briefly for anybody who remembers the older plans, who's been with us for I think more than 2 years now, because they were also called professional and business. But this is actually very different. This is even larger businesses. This is goes beyond the old business plan. This is more like a small enterprise plan. With that said, this does also have, like the professional, a regular business and a business plus. And with the regular business at $309 a month, you get 100 active models in your account at once. Remember, there's a difference between the active and the inactive. You can have, with all of these plans, you can have as many inactive or archived models as you want. The active models, 100 at a time, is huge. That is very, very substantial. You've got a lot going on if you're a business with 100 active models at any given time, and 20 to 50 users. So again, very, very large teams of stakeholders and people collaborating in on these models. And just like with the professional, any camera capture device is supported. And as Volkie just mentioned, with the professional and the introduction of things like the Matter Pack, which is great for AEC, construction, architecture, things like that, allows you to purchase a point cloud to put into AutoCAD. The same thing here, but with a slight price reduction. Same thing with the floor plans. You're getting the same schematic floor plan that you could otherwise order with the professional, just at a slightly reduced price. That's about it. So, Volkie?
Yeah, so it's in a similar vein, right? Higher security spaces with professional cameras. Just these are starting to be in a larger team, right? So you have an office, a field office, or multiple offices um, in parts of the country or even parts of the the world. Then you can enable them remotely in this plan, and so you don't need to worry about bumping up into your user limitation. You can enable up to 20, or with Business Plus even more. And then it gives you more reporting capabilities. We haven't talked about it a whole lot, but as you go up in the professional plans, you have this ability of reporting for the spaces, the space statistics viewed, etc. So here in this plan, you get more advanced analytics for the spaces. So you can share also with your customers or broader teams. You get volume discounts, right? If you are in this model, in this subscription, you can start seeing, discounts on value add, products or services. And so this is also kind of pushing us into, what we call is not listed here, but enterprise model. So if you're an enterprise, we have on our website, we are not covering in this, but we have enterprise plans that give you further, spaces and users, as well as more capabilities and, better pricing. So you may want to check in with our sales team on that one. We're not going deep into that. So just a reminder, these are, kind of leaning into the higher plans that can be more suitable if you are part of a big organization.
Yeah, enterprise. If this is 100 or 250 active models isn't enough, then I think you're definitely ready for an enterprise plan. Okay, so to sum up, basically, what we've got here are the main differences between these different plans. With the free tier, you get one active model, great for as Volkie mentioned, just practicing, getting to familiarizing yourself with the system. Also, really great, as an end user who just wants to keep a model of their home, for example. It's a great use case for real estate. You can just open up a free tier and have the service partner who created the model for you move it on over, transfer it over there, so you can keep that. Starter plan is the next step with 5 active models, and professional and business and so on. So that's the main difference right there between the plans. And so now I just want to take a quick second to look at the differences between the current plans, everything we've talked about up until now, and the classic plans for anybody who might be with us who either has a classic plan or remembers them, and so on. So Volkie, did you want to cover this?
Yeah, let me talk about these. Thanks, Amir. So again, this is for the customers who have been with us for a while. In 2019, we introduced the current plans that we use today, or standard plans. And with those plans, we introduced some simplification of certain concepts. And so I try to put these side by side just to give you an idea. We get questions every now and then around these things. So I think there are multiple concepts here when we talk about a space. A space is being captured and then it's being uploaded. And in current plans you may be in, there is no fees. You can have unlimited uploads, right? As long as your model allows for that to be an active space, right? So there's an active versus archival concept. Classic plans don't have that, right? So classic plans don't have the archive capability. So if you scan and upload more spaces than what is in your monthly subscription, then you may be charged $19 for each additional space process, because that goes through a process through our AI engine, right? So, and then it can even be higher for more professional captured models, such as $29 for Pro 2 or BLK 360. So there's that that space processing fee in classic plans. We allow, I think, 3 for each month free, but then beyond that, there's a processing fee. So there's a little bit of a predictability advantage with the current plans and unlimited upload capability, whereas in classic plans, there's a processing fee. So the other difference is, as far as I know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but all spaces, regardless of their size or number of scans in them, count as one in current plans. Whereas in classic plans, spaces with more than 100 scans can be charged differently than a space with less than 100 scans. And that can vary by also the type of the camera used. So there's variability in that billing from that point of view. And then the last thing I wanted to touch is there are no overages when you have archiving feature for hosting, right? So hosting is simple with current plans or standard plans. You will not be able to upload any new ones if you have not archived the ones that you have. But as long as you archive, you have free space, you'll be able to upload. In the classic plan, if you can go over your hosting, and that's possible, then you'll be charged a certain amount, for example, $19 for every block of 50 spaces. So as you can see, we simplified with current plans, and classic plans may have some advantages, but at the end of the day, I think it's much simpler and predictable in a current or standard plan. The good news is you can stay with classic plans and enjoy it, indefinitely. But if you want to switch over and enjoy some of the newer capabilities like these, unlimited uploads, archiving, etc., it's a very easy way of upgrading. You can upgrade. You can try to upgrade on your own, but I think you will need support teams help quickly put you on a current plans from a classic plan and help you transfer your spaces. So yeah, that's, I think, the fundamental differences. And Amir, I think, will cover a real life scenario with some numbers attached to it. So Amir, back to you.
Yeah, so extremely basic. This isn't, I mean, this could easily potentially be a real world example. But just to kind of break it down and really simplify it, even though it, again, as Volkie mentioned, with different cameras having different prices, with the classic plans for processing and different model sizes having different prices for processing. And if you go over the limits with overages and things like that, it can be a little bit more complicated, which is exactly why we changed to the current plans, just to simplify things, so you can actually predict what you're going to be charged. So as an example, let's say you've got 4 unique models that you've uploaded. These are, each one is different. You click add new model in Capture 4 times, and you've created a new model. I'm not talking about, creating a duplicate or re-uploading a model that you've already got. I'm talking about unique models. So you've uploaded 4 of those in a month. And you've uploaded 2 of them again because window markings were added or something like that. Doesn't matter what reason, but you've uploaded the same 2 a second time, and you have a total of 89 models in your account. So you're on the basic classic plan, which allows you up to 100 models. So you're within that limit. So you're not going to be charged the $19 for being over that 100 model limit, but you are going to be charged $19. And again, $19 because I'm assuming we're using something like the Pro 2 and not a 360 camera, or not the Pro 2 Lite or the BLK. So I'm going with the least amount possible charged for that extra processing, because with the basic, you get those 3 free processings. So you got the initial cost right here. You can see of the $49 for hosting those 100 models, whether you have 100 or not. That $19 that you got charged for processing that additional, because you had 4 unique models, not 3. So you got charged $19 for a grand total of $68. Kind of, equating that to the $69, which seems, more expensive, because if you just compare $69 to $49, yeah, why would I pay, for a professional plan? if I'm paying $49 for the classic plan. So this might be the case. So you're a dollar shy, that's great. You did that. But, what about when you cross that 100 model threshold? Then you get charged $19 for anything between 100 and 150 models. So now all of a sudden you're over the current professional plan. You're paying more than what you would otherwise pay if you were just on the professional plan. What if you uploaded 5 models or 6 models in a month? Now you're being charged, a lot more than what you would otherwise be charged on the professional plan. So I think all I'm, trying to say here, and with this example, is take a look at your invoice. It lays out exactly, what you were charged for. And you can compare that very easily to something like the current professional plan, because that's a fixed price at $69. There are no additional fees to that. And really ask yourself how many of those 100 models really need to remain active. It depends on your industry. Maybe they do, but maybe they don't. Maybe you want, as I mentioned before, to have a client, in order to reduce that number from close to 100, reduce it down to 20, so you can have the professional 25, so you can have the professional models or professional plan. You can offload some of those models to clients and customers and just have them hosted either on the free plan or the starter plan. So just options, things to think about when you're looking at your invoice and maybe wondering, why am I being charged this? And so, by the way, to get to your invoice, you just go into the settings, and I can kind of walk you through it if you need, but it's in the settings and under billing. I think only 2 users have access to that, but correct me if I'm wrong, Volkie. I'm having kind of a moment here where I can't remember with the classic plans. I know with the new plans, there are 2 users, the account owner and the billing manager, I guess, who have access to invoices. But those are those also true for the classic plans, or is it just everybody's either a collaborator or an admin?
That I don't know. Predates me, Amir. Let's take a note of that, and maybe in the next shop talk we can have a quick session.
Yeah,
on
I got to
that.
remind myself. It's been a while since I've been in the classic plans, so I got to remind myself. But it's there. Everybody's got access to their billing in their settings. If you personally don't, then your account admin does for sure. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and move on. So that's pretty much it for the content parts. Let's kick it into Q&A. Before we do that, I just wanted to point out that at the top of Matterport.com, there's a resources dropdown, and the first thing in that dropdown is support. If you click that, you get to our support center. It's kind of like basically like a page, like a hub that has everything support related. So it's got frequently asked questions that are answered right there. You've got access to the help center, which has hundreds of articles of information that could come in very handy. Also, the help center gives you access to the chat bot that you can chat with our support team, as well as the support page having the phone number. This phone number that you see here on the screen, this 408 number, is the phone number used for anybody within the US. If you're not within the US, then you can go to that support page there, scroll down to where your phone number is, and that'll be the phone number that's correct for your location. The email is true for everybody, support@matterport.com. You can reach out to the support team, and they'll be happy to go over all of these billing related questions that you may have. I see a few in there, so we'll get to that in a moment. And as always, just, it's always a good idea to make sure that your profile information is up to date, contact information. If there's any kind of updates that is billing related, that's who gets the email associated with your account. So if that's not up to date, you may not get that email. So very, very important with any account, but certainly here as well. to make sure that your email is up to date in your account. Stay connected with everything that happens in Matterport. So we're always uploading to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Matterport. So if you are interested in staying connected and knowing the latest that is happening, that's a great place to go. And always fun to have your awesome models shared with us. If you care to see your model in the gallery or possibly in the Destination Everywhere website, just visit go.matterport.com/nominate-your-space and go ahead and nominate your space. And with that said, going to open up the Q&A so we can check this out.
Maybe we can also, since we don't have a lot of questions, we can also, repeat the answered questions for the sake of the broader group. Amir, so why don't I go through that, and then you can take a look at the questions coming in. So Lou asked if this is available with Android. So this being Capture, I'm assuming yes. So we are in beta for Android Capture. Lou also asked about, is there a way to save the tours for a seller's memoirs? Yes, so they can open up a free account, and then a space can be transferred to them, and they can keep it forever in that free account.
Yeah, that's the free example that I gave. It's absolutely brilliant. All the, if you're talking real estate, have the home seller create a free account, transfer that model to them, and they can keep it indefinitely forever for free and refer back to it. It's an amazing way of having, keepsake of awesome memories of, your home. It's perfect.
Could be a home, it could be something else, right? But it's just capturing that space and that time is invaluable. It's a digital archive, pretty much. Borna asked, what's a model is archived, and I have a link for it on my website. Does that link still work? No, it will not work. If it's archived, that will give an error. So space needs to be active to be viewed. Borna also asked, free plan. I have a tour I scanned for a customer. It was a one-time tool on their day. I don't want to take it up active spaces. Can I create a free account and switch? Yes, that's a similar concept we talked earlier. I don't think you can create an account on behalf of somebody else. They need to create it. So you just need to inform them about Matterport, and they can come in and easily create one. But then once that account exists, you can do the transfer. Steve asked about insurance related. So we do have insurance focused sales team. We don't have an insurance focused support team. So depending on your needs, our sales teams may help. Support team is helping with all different industries and verticals. So just let us know where your need is. What if you want 50 active models, but only if you have 5 users? And so kind of an in-between. I think that's possible. You just need to contact us, and it's not a self-service feature. That was JJ's question. Sandy asked if a user can go back and forth between starter and professional. You can go between plans, upgrade and downgrade. You cannot go from a professional or a business plan to a free or starter plan. That's the limit. But then you can upgrade. Upgrades are effective immediately, as far as I know. Downgrades are at the end of the month, the billing cycle. So let's go to the open questions, Amir, and if you want to start taking them.
So Stephen asks, why doesn't insurance have a separate price if we're not using the spaces as long as a realtor or putting the videos on the website? So, as far as I suppose we're concerned, it's it's more about the active versus inactive spaces. So for insurance, I think the plans are really ideal because the idea is to have access to the space, and so you're actually not paying for it when it's archived. It's just sits there in your account, and in case something should ever come up or happen, and you do need to refer back to that model, then you can activate it and pull it out. But I think actually that the new plans, or I guess current plans, with the active versus inactive, is really very, very well suited for insurance. So I assume that doesn't answer your question. So I'm sorry, Steve. Um, but why isn't it a separate price? I think basically, Volkie, maybe, and product team, you guys can answer this better, but I would argue that, it doesn't matter what your use case is. It's really just comes down to how many spaces you have active. And that was the goal.
Yeah, we don't have industry, specific pricing. That may be something we look in the future. But now is a space, or a model is a model. It can be advantageous for you if you're creating like big ones or etc. At the time. So we are not, creating different pricing. In the future, we may look into that. And then in terms of models longevity, depending on like if you have a model that needs to be live for a long term, then you need a higher plan, right? An higher active spaces plan. If you don't need that, you just need a digital record, but it doesn't have to be live, like in an insurance use case. Then you may not need a higher subscription because you can keep those forever in an archive mode, and then you can activate them as you need. So it depends, I think, on the use cases. So use your discretion in the decision-making process where that can go in different ways.
Stephen also asked, why does Matterport have a separate specialist who only handles questions for insurance people? So, insurance in specific verticals, we basically, regardless of what your question is and what your vertical is and where you're coming from, you can ask the support team. If they don't have the answer because they haven't seen that come up before, it's because it's really, really specific to your use case, which is a subset of insurance or whatever it might be, Stephen. They can go and find the answer, right? They're well equipped to talk to a business development team who's dealing with insurance and who's speaking to insurance professionals such as yourself on a daily basis. So really, the support team is the best place to go for any question. And like I said, if they don't have the answer right away, they're well equipped to get the answer for you. Heather had an interesting question. Volkie, I think you were going to answer this one. I'll just go ahead and read it out because I'm not sure I fully understand. Can you switch archive and active accounts freely?
Yeah, I guess accounts versus models. Yeah, that may need some clarification. But if it's between models that are active versus archived, yes, you can switch back and forth freely. At any given time. So that's a feature that you can use in your my.matterport.com cloud account.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the models themselves, so within something like within any one of the current plans, you have both active and inactive or archived models. And so, regardless of what plan you're in, you can switch back and forth. You can take a model and make it archive it, and you can take it from archive into an active state, depending on what you need to do with it. If you need to edit something that you didn't get a chance to do when it was active and forgot about, you want to take care of that, you have to activate it, make that edit, and then you can archive it again. But one caveat that I would like to just add is that in order to make an archived or inactive model, in order to make that one active, you do have to have enough space available in your account. So if you have a free plan and you have an active model and you have a bunch of inactive models and you want to make one of those inactive active, the first thing you have to do is make the one that's currently active, because you're only allowed one at a time, make that model inactive by archiving it, and then you can make the other one active. That's true for all the plans.
So Borna is asking, archive capability is not available on a classic plan. That's true. That's one of the main differences between a classic plan versus a standard or a current plan.
Jan asks, why is the professional at 25 spaces priced at 62 euros, while 100 spaces for the business plan is priced at 275 euros? It shouldn't be cheaper to have more spaces. Um, so the business plan, as I mentioned before, Jan, that the business plan is really a kind of small enterprise plan. It's really designed for large teams that need a good number of users to collaborate on this, and a bunch of active models. So that's the way things are priced right now. What determines the price is the number of active models and the number of users you're allowed. The more active models, the more users you're allowed in your plan. That's the higher tier and the higher price that plan is going to be. I hope that makes sense. It's a plan designed for larger teams.
Yeah, so just I think that's a good question. If it was just the number of models, then yes, the question is a great one, because when you buy more, it should be per unit cheaper. I agree, but then that's not the case, right? For business plans, we are also adding 15 more users in them versus a professional plan, right? So there are more users in them, more active spaces, and you're getting discount on floor plans and matter packs, etc. So at the end of the day, net is, if you have a larger team, if you're using services, this business is a better fit for you. Although your per active space cost is not significantly lower than professional, when you look at across all these variables, you're still in a better shape than a professional plan. Heather has a question around how can set up the phase blurring option. So this comes in when you have professional or a higher plan automatically included, right? So you can turn it on and off in your account settings. If it's on, then it's going to just take, it's going to be actively doing it, face blurring. If not, then it will not. So, and you can also turn it on by model, at the model level, but it comes with the professional plans and above.
Yeah, currently it's also a feature that's in beta, so it needs to be activated in the model by the account admin.
Borna asks, how do I know how many free spaces are included in my monthly subscription plan? So at any time, you can log in and see how many spaces you have available in your plan, in your cloud account, right? So mymatterport.com, log into your account. You can see how many free users you have in your dashboard, as well as how many free spaces that you have left in your account. You can always archive, and so you can open up space available for to capture more models or create more models.
All right. I have a classic and was charged on November 24th, $489 for the year basic subscription. Then in December billing, I was charged another $489. Borna, I would reach out to the support team to get that corrected. Clearly, that is an error on our part.
Yeah, let me speak to that, Amir. So this could be where we had an issue with our billing. We are updating our billing system, so we send multiple emails out to our customers. You may have seen that email, and I think you are in this group where it looks like there's a additional charge, but there isn't, right? So if you further go down in your invoice, you will see a credit in that. So it will be, a wash at the end. So please take a look at your invoice, see if you have a credit down in your invoice to take this out. Great, you don't need to contact us. That means there's a zero charge. It's just a notification one time that we are updating our systems. If not, please contact our support team.
Okay. Alan Fun had a concern regarding the example that I mentioned between the, comparing between the classic and the current professional plan and the pricing and all that. I mentioned in the example, what if we actually had all 89 models active and not just 25 active models? So the question is, I think, Alan, do you really need all 89 models active? What's your business model? Can you offload some of those models to the clients? And if your business model structure is such that you're offering indefinite hosting for your clients, then I would argue maybe that should change, because that's going to cost you a lot of money. And as soon as you cross that 100 line, you're going to spend another $19 for another block of 50, and so on and so forth. So you probably want to offload those and rethink the strategy that which you charge your clients. Yeah, so basically that's it. You're right in the sense that if all 89 models were active in a current plan, the current plan would be more expensive. We're arguing, do you really need all of them active? Why do you need them all active? If the answer is yes, by all means, keep the classic plan. We have no problem with that. As Volkie mentioned, you can keep your classic plan indefinitely. So if that works for you, fantastic. For other people who don't absolutely have to have all those models active simultaneously, I think the current plan offers a much more stable pricing structure. So that's all we're saying.
Karam is asking, how much longer do you expect to classic plans to remain active for users still on them? As we said, they will be active forever. That's our policy right now. So there's no forcing function for you to move to a new plan. It's all a standard plan. It's all a decision that you can make based on your unique unique situation where it makes financial sense for you.
And Matthew asks, does Matterport provide a forum where individuals with an account can sync up with other individuals who may have interest in technology with the purpose of networking and expanding the business? Yes, absolutely. A really, really great place to do that, Matthew, is in our Facebook group. A lot of Matterport users are in there, and you don't even have to have an account to join, which is great. If you go to Moog, M-O-U-G, it's Matterport Official User Group on Facebook, search for that, you'll find it. And again, as I mentioned, really, really great resource to touch base with other Matterport users. All right, Volkie, I think we're not going to be able to make it to all of them. I just want to clarify, I see one here that John brought up that I mentioned processing charges in the current business plan is different for the Pro 2 Lite. No, definitely not. There's no processing charge in the current, in any current plan, business or other. The current plans do not charge for processing, regardless of what camera or capture device you're using.
Yeah, however, there are variances in the classic plans, and that adds to the complexity. For example, if you want to upload in a classic plan with a Pro 2 Lite, then it's $29, Pro 2 is $19. And then larger spaces, charge is twice. So there's those kind of variables in the classic plans.
Right. With that said, thank you so much for all the questions. I really apologize we weren't able to get to all of them. I know over the years, and some of you obviously have been with us for a while, we've changed things up from the classic to the current and all this and that, and it can definitely get confusing. So I understand all the questions and where they're coming from, and hopefully this was helpful to help answer the questions. For any of you who are on the classic plan and enjoy it, by all means, stay with it. I think the main thing to pull from this webinar is if you're not sure why you're being charged for what you're being charged for, check out your invoice, compare it to what you would otherwise be charged on a different plan, and make the call. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, and then just for the rest of the folks who are in standard plans, sorry we took some time for classic plans. For you, my message will be: we have many different options, starting with free, that you can use today with your iPhone, and soon enough, with your Android, or 360 cameras, to the business plans to enterprises. There's one plan that will match for your needs. Just give it a try, and you can always switch back and forth. But it's important to be in the right one to meet your needs. And we're always here if you have any questions or any feedback for us. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and hope to see you in the next Shop Talk. We've got one more coming up on the 16th, and that'll be it for 2020. So hope to see you there, and take care. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.